In the previous video, we had discussed how you change the number of a sentence from singular to plural. Okay, you need to take care of three things when you're changing the number. In addition to the noun, you have to take care of the adjective, you have to take care of the article, and you have to take care of the verb as well. Okay, because you're changing the person from singular to plural. Now, when you're changing the gender of a sentence, again it'll just be the noun that is underlined for you, so you have to change that obviously. Now you know that the adjective also agrees with the gender of the noun, so the adjective has to change. Therefore you need to learn the rules for nouns as well as adjectives. Okay, in certain cases the article will also change, okay, when you're talking about singular. So un will become une, okay, le will become la. The verb will not change when you're changing the gender, okay, because as you know, il and el conjugate the same way. So let's begin. Now the rules for changing the gender of nouns and adjectives are a little different, so they have been taken up separately. Okay, now the general rule is to add an e. Okay, so most will form their feminines by adding an e. Marchand becomes marchands with an e, a vendor or a seller. Enseignant becomes enseignante with an e, teacher. Okay, the next rule is if the masculine ends with eur, the feminine ends with euse. Okay, so vendeur, which is a seller, becomes vendeurs, eur becomes eusc. Danseur, which is a dancer, becomes danseurs, eusc. Okay, but if you have t before the eur, okay, then you do not, it doesn't become teur, does not become teuse. Okay, teur becomes trice. Okay, this is an exception of a sort. So actor, teur becomes actrice, trice. Okay, actor, actress. Traducteur, teur becomes traductrice. Translator, female translator. Okay, teur becomes trice. Then if the masculine ends with er, the feminine will end with ere. Okay, and an accent on the first t as well. So infirmier, which is a nurse, okay, in the feminine becomes infirmière with an extra e and the accent on the first t. Okay, boulangère, er, in the masculine ending will become e accent re in the feminine. Boulangère is a baker. Okay. The next rule is if the masculine ends with en, the feminine will take n and then e. So the feminine ending becomes enne. Okay. So mécanicien in the masculine becomes mécanicienne. En becomes enne. Pharmacien becomes pharmacienne. En becomes enne. Okay. Mécanicien is a mechanic. Pharmacien is a pharmacist. Okay. Now some nouns remain constant in the masculine as well as feminine. Okay, you need to learn this list. There are more as well. You will only have to change the article. Okay, so dontis, it is un dontis for a masculine, une dontis for a feminine. Secrétaire, secretary remains the same. Médecin, doctor remains the same. Professor, teacher remains the same. Architect remains the same. And there are a few more. Okay, so you'll have to find the list and learn which nouns do not change their gender. Now, as you well know, the family members are irregular. They do not follow any rules while changing the gender. You probably already know this, but it's always better to revise. Okay, so homme becomes femme, which is man and woman. Now, femme is also wife. Okay, femme is woman as well as wife. So you'll have two masculines for the same feminine, because for woman it is man, right, which is homme, and for wife it is husband, which is mari. Okay, so the feminine of both homme and mari becomes femme. Père becomes mère, you know this, father and mother. Oncle becomes tante, uncle and aunt. Neveu becomes niece, nephew and niece. Frère becomes sir, brother and sister. Okay, and fils is a son, becomes fille, which is daughter. Okay, and fille has another meaning, which is girl. Okay, so for daughter it is son, which is fils, and for girl it is garçon, which is boy. Okay, so same way. So femme has two, homme and mari. Fille has two, fils and garçon. Okay, so this is the way you have to change the gender of nouns. Now, when it comes to adjectives, the general rule is again you add e for most. So, grand, for example, becomes grande, extra e, large. Content becomes content, extra e, happy. Okay, if the adjective ends with eux, you have actually done this last year, so this is just a division. Adjective ends with eux, the feminine will end eusc. So, furieux becomes furious, angry. Ux becomes heureuse, happy. Okay, then if the masculine ends with er, the feminine ends with ex or re. You have done this in the nouns. So I gave you in the nouns, for example, boulanger, in the masculine becomes boulangère in the feminine. Ex and re. Same way for adjectives. Premier becomes première, first. Léger becomes légère, light. Okay, something which doesn't have weight. Entier becomes entière, entire or whole. Okay, so the same way as nouns, masculine which ends with er, the feminine ends with ere, so also the adjectives. Now, if the masculine adjective ends with f, then it has to become ve in the feminine. Okay, so actif becomes active, active. Attentif becomes attentif. Okay, you have another one which is vif becomes vif. Okay, vif is lively. Then this is a peculiar one. If you have the adjective ending with a vowel and then consonant, okay, you'll have to double the consonant and then add e. So for example, andillon is vowel and then consonant, so double the consonant and add e. Okay, so it will become ondillon, ondienne. Bon, vowel, consonant, double the consonant and add e. Bon, bon, good. Vowel, consonant, double the consonant, add e. Ba, bas, low. Jonti, jonti, vowel, consonant, double the consonant, add e. Okay, so these are peculiar ones where you have an adjective ending with a vowel and consonant. You have to double the consonant and then add e. Okay, now some which already end with e in the masculine, they do not change in the feminine. Okay, like facile, which is easy, propre, clean, sale, dirty, triste is sad. Okay, so these are all ending with e in the masculine. They remain the same in the feminine. Okay, now these are the exceptions to the rules of adjectives changing their gender. So these you will have to learn by heart. Let's quickly go through them. Sec becomes sèche, which is dry. Okay, please look at the spellings carefully. They are called exceptions for a reason. Doux becomes douce, which is sweet. Public becomes public with a QUE, which means public. Blonde becomes blanche, CHE. Okay, the H is extra here, that's why it's an exception. Blanc, you know, is white. Long becomes long, UE, the U is extra here. Okay, which is long. Frais becomes fresh, which is fresh. Favori becomes favorite. There's an extra T here, so that's why it's the exception, which means favorite. Nouveau becomes nouvelle, you know this. Vieux becomes vieille, and beau becomes belle. Okay, these three are the most exceptional ones. You should already be knowing that. Nouveau is new, vieux is old, and beau is beautiful. Okay, so these are the 10 exceptions to gender rules of adjectives. You need to learn them properly. Okay, now this is how it will come for you in your board exam. It comes under the category of do as directed, just as I explained to you in changing the number of sentences. So you will be given a sentence, in bracket you will be given the instruction, which will be mettez la phrase à la forme féminine. So put it into the feminine form. Ensure that your adjectives and articles are agreeing with the new feminine noun. Okay, so let's do these examples. Ami follows a simple rule of an extra e, so it becomes ami with the e. Okay, now change whatever else has to be changed. Which is the article, has to become une in the feminine. Mexicain, which is the adjective for Mexican, you have to add an extra e there. Becomes Mexicaine. Okay, then qui will remain qui. Remember, verbs you are not changing here. Je will remain je. Bavard is an adjective meaning talkative or chatty, will also get an extra e. So can you see, you've changed the noun, you've changed the article, and you have to change the adjectives as well. Okay, now here frère has to become sir. You know this is an exception. Patron, this is vowel and consonant, so you have to double the consonant and add e. Okay, patron is boss, so patron, the feminine. So les here, the plural article doesn't change when you're changing the gender. Singular article will change. Le will become la. Okay, nothing else will change in the sentence. Les sœurs de Jo travaillent avec la patronne. Okay, then what do you have to change here? Étudiant gets an extra e, so it will become étudiante. Okay, what else do you have to change? L apostrophe doesn't change because it's still starting with the vowel. Okay, courier, which is an adjective, will change. EUX becomes EUSE. Okay, the rest of it will remain the same. Vinny explique la réponse à l'étudiante curieuse. Okay, to the curious student. You can try these exercises by yourself. Change the gender of these sentences. Okay, make sure you're changing the adjectives and articles as well wherever you're required to. The answer there for you on the next slide. See you soon with a new video. Thank you.